Right, it's 23rd of October, it's about 8:30 at night. This is first proper day of prep for Red Bull time lapse. Heading out for a ride on the gravel bike since it's night time, and I'm planning to head towards Aberdeen, towards the town, go through the woods and all the rest of it. And these sort of training rides this week are not so much about going a lot of miles, it's just about time on the bike. So taking the gravel bike, so it's nice and comfy, and I can explore a bit and stay off the roads as well quite a bit with it being night time, and maybe take a little explore up the centre of Aberdeen and look at all the people out having a good time. It's always fun watching all the drunks when you're sober, especially when you're zooming up the middle of Union Street on your bike. So no major plan, just to stay out as long as I can, probably until my lights run out. Maybe, I guess that might be 3 or 4 hours, that sort of idea, which would get me back just after midnight, but we'll see how it goes. Head to Aberdeen and see how I feel. I've got plenty of food on me, well stocked up, can easily go for 3 or 4 hours without having to get more fluids and that, and then I can head back and get a good rest and go for it again tomorrow. Right, time to get cracking. Quick stop at Tappy Tower, which is in a place called Kirkhill Forest, about 6 miles from the start of my ride. 36 minutes and about 1,000 foot of climbing, so just came up to the top of the tower here. You can't really cycle past it, you have to come up for a quick look. It's nice and dark. Now I'm going to head down, all the way downhill in Aberdeen towards the beach, and then I'm kind of skirting along the edge of the wind, try to keep shelter. There's a southerly, so I'm going to kind of skirt around in the shelter and then come back home with the wind on my back, hopefully. But it's like, what did I say, it was 23rd of October, it's about 9-10 degrees, I'm absolutely roasting. Just got a thin summer top on and a thin base layer, sweating buckets. It's great. About 15 mile an hour wind, but like I say, I'm kind of trying to keep out of it, but it's windy up here, as you can hear. Anyway, better crack on for my lights give up. Bye bye. Okay, in Aberdeen now, 20 miles in, about an hour and a half, 1,400 foot of climbing, but it's mostly downhill from where I was at Tappy Tower, and now I'm at Fitty, so I went from Tappy to Fitty. Fitty is short for Foot D, which is the foot of the Dee, or the end of the River Dee, where it joins the sea. So this is the harbour area. The harbour master tower's back there, and then up that way is the actual harbour. I'm heading that direction. So I came down off of Kirkhill Forest, down past Aberdeen Airport, along the River Don, and then sort of snaked along the roads, paths and cycle paths along the River Don to where it meets the sea, and then from the River Don to the River Dee, it's basically all the way along the beach boulevard into a mental headwind, but I beat it. So headwind versus me, headwind nothing, me 1. Now I'm going to head up into the town, right up the middle of Union Street where all the bars and clubs and stuff are, and see what sort of shape Joe Public's in, see if they're having a good time. Will we laugh at them? They'll probably have a wee laugh at me and my bloody lycra. Anyway, right, keeping on. First light's still holding out, so probably got a good few hours left. I've got a couple more lights to keep it going. We'll see where we end up. I'm gonna head inland now, so I'll be heading west, and then at some point we'll turn north back home and get a nice tailwind, hopefully. Right, sayonara. Just outside Peter Cooter, just standing over the Aberdeen bypass at Peter Cooter, and what are we at? 30 miles, just over 2 hours. Just zoomed up through Aberdeen city centre, as expected. Lots of drunk folk, quite a few folk getting arrested, A few people trying to kill me by running in front of me across the road. What else was there? Oh, all the usual sights. But it's quite nice cycling up the main street there. And then headed to a park called Duthie Park, which is the start of the D-side way, which is was a railway line many years ago, and it's been converted to a cycle path. It's a really nice cycle path. So you can basically get all the way out of Aberdeen. I'm probably, what, 5 miles from centre of Aberdeen without going through any of the town or any of the main streets. It's just dead straight as well, and it takes you all the way out to Ballater actually, which is probably another 40 miles from here. I'm heading to Bankery, and then I'm going to head home from there because it's basically directly north back to where I live. And I just stopped to put on some tunes, zoom through the trees with some music on, and I'll catch up with you at Bankery. This is the D-side way. Just where am I? Just passing through or behind Dramoke. About, I don't know, I guess halfway to Bankery. But it's kind of a mixture of this sort of stuff. The first 5 miles out of Aberdeen is all tarmac, really nice. And then even these gravel paths are like super nice. It's all totally maintained, beautiful. Nice and sheltered in from the wind. Ooh, wet bit. And because it's what, 11 o'clock at night or something, not a soul to be seen, just rabbits. Ooh. Tell you what, this a lot of people might not like the sound of cycling about in the middle of the night in the woods, but if you can get out with a pal, I totally recommend it. It's some of the best cycling you can do. You don't have to worry about cars and all that sort of crap, and generally speaking you can have a pretty good adventure without going too far from home. You can do a lot of miles just zooming about the forests. Obviously got to watch you don't get lost, like I almost did there. Heading back up to Dramoke now. I'll put the camera away. Oh, there's a rabbit. Put the camera away and see you at Bankery. Made it to Bankery, and I am outside of Ride Coffee House to be precise. Anyone who followed the Guinness World Record attempt for the 7-day record for the most miles cycled in 7 days, that was recently successfully done by Josh Quigley, you'll recognise this place. This was our central point for crew changeovers and that kind of stuff. I project managed the event, and this was the centre of things. Had a few coffees and a few cakes here. Lots of action here, but I'll put a link to the BBC News article for that, because maybe a lot of you won't have followed it, but it's quite interesting. And a lot of miles, and it kind of ties in with this training I'm doing for this Red Bull time-lapse thing. You know, that 7-day record was about as tough as it gets, really. I think for an endurance record, 7 days non-stop cycling, 2,179 miles I think it was in the end. So anyway, I'll put a link, you can check that out. I've done about 41 miles in about 3 hours, picking up a bit of speed. It's just started to rain though, so I'm gonna make tracks and try and get home before I get totally soaked, because I do have some spare clothes with me, but I'm not really wanting to get wet. But so far so good. 3 hours, pretty easy, nice steady pace. Could carry on like this for a long time, which is the aim of the game. Right, I better go and dodge this rain. I will probably catch you again when I get home, and we'll break down what the total ride was. Just take it easy. That's it, job done. Back home where we started. Just over 4 hours, 4.25 hours, 63.5 miles. A little bit over 3,000 foot climbing, which is pretty good for a night ride, especially on a gravel bike, and quite a lot off-road. There's probably, I don't know, 50% off-road. Chunk of that was actually like gravel and stuff, and then some of it was pavement. And quite a lot of wind, but the route I took worked out pretty good. Managed to avoid a lot of the wind or skirt along it into Aberdeen, then came up around the back of it. Along the D-side way is totally sheltered, so that was quite good. And then when I came off the D-side way onto the roads, I just had the wind on my back, so it was great. So I'll post a link to the Strava ride in the description, and I'm gonna go and put the bike away and put myself away to bed, get a rest and get prepped for tomorrow. Got a bunch of chores to do in the day, but then maybe do another night ride tomorrow night. So anyway, hope you all had a good day today, folks, and we'll catch you in the next video. Take it easy.